Thanks, Sam. So yeah, lovely for everyone for joining us. Thank you for taking the time this afternoon. So obviously I'm Kerry from England Lacrosse. My role is particularly related to membership services and insight. However, I'm kind of taking this on as a bit of an offshoot project in relation to some upcoming work we've got to do with strategy, and I'll lead on to the exciting prospect of Olympics in 2028, which is a big part of why we want to re-engage this FE network with us on that journey. So some colleges may or may not be already involved. We did do a lacrosse program commencing, I think, 2021 or 21-22 academic year. And I think there was some great success from that, and we've learned lots of lessons from that. But as NGB World and changing strategy, changing Sport England operations and motivations, directions, we've kind of taken a step back and now want to relaunch the program in a slightly different avenue, but still offering unique experiences, different opportunities for different colleges with different outlets. And at the end of the day, the main aim is get lacrosse known by more people and the exposure of the sport more widespread across the country. So I'll just work through the presentation, and like I said, open for commentary at the end. There'll be bits of ad-libbing that I can add on to give more information where relevant. So opening side, obviously, it's just an overview of lacrosse in the country. We are a growing sport. We've got a lot of international success. We do want to work with colleges and make sure we can expand on this. So as it is, lacrosse is a fast-paced, dynamic team sport that combines skill, speed and strategy. The roots of the sport are North America, and it is a very popular sport in the American country. It's a big NCAA college sport. America, Canada are probably the top nations across the multiple disciplines of the sport. And yeah, as England, we do have the international success. We are up there with world rankings. So it's not the most popular sport. We're not football, we're not cricket, we're very well aware of that, but we still do have a lot of participation in this country. So 65,000 people, which is no small feat. We obviously different segments. There's schools that play, there's clubs. It's a big sport in the Bucks University sector, and we've got lots of primary schools take on a different version of that sport as well as part of their invasion game curriculums and after school clubs. So just a few little figures there. We've got 380 teams. That is the combination of community clubs and universities. And there's over 400 schools that do take part, whether that be primary school, secondary. We've got a big independent school network as well. They obviously, it's embedded in curriculums. We have national competitions for them. And then we do see a lot of growth in the sport, probably about 2% a year on year. We did have big growth pre-COVID, and I think as every sport will probably tell a story of the impact that COVID did to them. We did see some decline, and we're trying to regain that and regrowth and re-engage with our community sectors to see where we can get lacrosse to. We do provide mass amounts of training opportunities with officials, coaching, teacher CPD, and development pathways and opportunities for individuals every year. As I made reference to, we are a top team within the international remit. There's top 5 rankings that we can see here. We've had World Championship bronze medals for our women. And sorry, my screen's just popped up. Can everyone still see the presentation? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. And there's ongoing success across our team. So I made a reference to different disciplines earlier in the presentation. So we have a traditional field game, which is 10-a-side, and we have men's and women's senior and junior teams at that, the juniors under 20s. And we also have a shorter-sided indoor version, often referred to as box. We have representative success of all them teams on the international stage. There's been world championships this past September for our box teams. I think we finished 5th and 6th respectively with men's and women's. And we've got upcoming Euros and World Championships this year for our men's. Our junior men's are going out to Korea, and our senior men have got Euros in Poland. So we consistently show, even as a small nation, if you compare us to America, that we can achieve on that international stage. So the excitement that I mentioned earlier is lacrosse has been added to the 2028 Olympic repertoire, so there will be international representation of lacrosse on a very widespread world televised stage. So there's a slight caveat that it will be a GB representation because it is an Olympics sport, but it will still be people within England seeing lacrosse maybe for the first time. And I think as an NGB, we want to ensure that anyone who sees lacrosse on telly or sees anything about it has an opportunity to go, I can go and do something with that, or I know what this is, and there's options and avenues. And that's where we think it's really important to work with the colleges and engage with you guys, because at the end of the day, your students might be those people in classrooms dealing with these kids who see it on telly. They might be out in communities delivering coaching sessions and go, actually, lacrosse will be really exciting for these people. And there's so many opportunities to play and represent England on an international stage. As I mentioned, we've got examples of individuals who picked up the sport at 18 at university and now in our England squads, and now in GB squads. Because we are on the smaller sport side, then opportunities are wider open for people. So you can see on this slide, obviously I won't just read what's on there for you, but we want to make sure that the Olympic recognition creates the opportunity, and we've got a legacy programme in place, and we can start engaging new partners and have an innovative way of looking at how we can engage at a grassroots participation level. So as I mentioned, we have done a previous iteration of this FE college programme. So the past 5 years, obviously, like I said, about 35 colleges had engaged with us in total. And within them colleges, each had a different programme and intervention method. Some did training and then just did an inter-classroom work. And some people did students and got them trained as coaches. There was opportunities where schools did inter-college tournaments, for example. And by calculation, about 3,000 students have been engaged. Really exciting, because that's 3,000 people who probably before 2020 hadn't ever touched lacrosse, maybe even hadn't heard of lacrosse. And it's the impact of what them 3,000 students might be able to do to the next generation, or what them 3,000 students might be able to do with that skill set in their own personal development. It does also bring the opportunity for partnerships with England Lacrosse. I don't know if they're on the call, but Burnley College is a really good example for us. Through a partnership with Burnley College developed in the FE, it became a hub for our men's national squad. They started training out of Burnley College, and it's been a really good relationship and partnership that we've developed with the college itself by this FE programme. So the future direction, as I mentioned, we're kind of changing tact a little bit of what we want this programme to be. There isn't a one size fits all, and we want to work with each college individually to come up with a programme that works with you and with your college. And that might be looking at how you can engage in local communities if you do primary school outreach with your students. It might just be offering 1 or 2 sessions to students who don't normally engage with sport. It might be offering your students a chance to get a coach education qualification or certification, which builds to their repertoire of what they're gaining out of their college experience. I think the main bit that we've got on here is that lasting legacy. We want to integrate lacrosse into these colleges and have a presence for years to come. We don't want it just to be a quick thing. We want this legacy to come. Although we're in the 2028 Olympics, that could mean the 2032 Olympics and further beyond that. So we want lacrosse to have that legacy. And we want to support you guys in the colleges to deliver a programme that is sustainable and works, and isn't too much pressure for you, isn't too much pressure for anyone. And it fits in and integrates well. So I had the pleasure recently of attending the AoC's day at the Etihad with the students, and it was a really great opportunity to sit there and listen and understand how the different colleges operate. And I know each one, again, will be different and have their own nuances and programs, but I do feel like with this individualized approach, we can serve every college in a different way. So it could be curriculum, it could be staff training, we could help with events and competitions, we could just get some more students engaged in ways they've not done before. And I think from that day that I attended the FE, there was a few little key things where I think we can pin in. We're not naive, we know we're not football or rugby, we're not going to have lacrosse ambassadors, we don't think we're at that level yet. However, we can work with your other ambassadors that already exist. Either this girl can. How can we work with them ambassadors and add lacrosse to their repertoire? So, i.e., the female leaders to inspire people. I think of that 65,000 that I mentioned earlier, 80% are female. It's a massive portion of our game, and we can get females playing this sport more and more from more diverse communities. And it just makes sure that as a sport, we're growing. So again, you've got information on these slides about what this girl ambassadors, you know what they do, they're in your colleges, and I think we just want to add lacrosse to their repertoire. Let's encourage more young people to try lacrosse. So being a female myself, I can attest, you do kind of go through these ups and downs, like you try a sport, not sure if you like it, or you come out of it, well, the benefit of lacrosse, and this is for everything in sport access, it's such a level playing field for everyone. No one's unlikely that anyone in the colleges has done it for 10 years and have got all of these skills. So if you introduce it as a taster session, or you go to primary schools and do it, every person starts the same, and it opens up a really nice feeling that no one's automatically better than you are, or you're out of your depth. So getting into this go, I did some really good chatting and overhearing what the inclusivity ambassadors were doing. Another sport we can add to what the inclusivity ambassadors are trying to do. We do have adaptive lacrosse. There are modifications that can be made for people with wheelchairs, with special needs. We want to diversify the community, look at how we can ensure that everyone, regardless of their background or ability, can engage in lacrosse and try lacrosse. As everything, we do have an inclusive culture, and we want to carry on promoting that. So by working with inclusivity ambassadors, they can help carry that message for us, and equally we can offer them something in turn. And the last bit that's on here as well is the sports leaders. Even me going back 15 years, I did my sports leaders. I know it's slightly called something else now, but we can help with that. If you've got individuals who need to add information to their sports leaders, do different sports, try different things, lacrosse can be on that repertoire of things that they can do. We've got qualifications that can be accredited and certifications. It can gain the skills that sports leaders help to ambition about delivering and communication and teamwork. As I said, there's not going to be a set program of how this works for every college. So what we want to do is take the approach that if you are interested in adding lacrosse, pursuing it, understanding how it might work, is contact myself. My email address is on there, and have a nice one-on-one chat and conversation, and we can understand what might benefit you and how the program can integrate. I know we mentioned like the Manchester is a hub of clubs, so what we offer someone in Manchester, because of the club network, might be different to what we offer in the Warwickshire, where there's one or two clubs, but there's the universities that might be more present, and how we can engage and work with the primary school networks as well to see what we can offer to people. So yeah, like I said, very quick presentation. Didn't want to keep anyone